Hi everyone, welcome to my silent live. Welcome to my channel, Simple Michelle. Watch, comment in the comment section. Good morning, good night, good afternoon to wherever you are in the woods.
So let's get into it. This story is called The Promise. Ben dashed under the fence and ripped his pants. He felt the sting where his pants was torn, but the news of his mom passing has left him numb. The pain in his heart has distracted him from noticing the blood running down his ankle where the barbed wire has pierced his leg. He picked up speed as he turned the corner and was able to see his home in view. He made a sudden stop at his gate knelt to the ground, catch his breath, and yelled, "No!" Ben was born in a poor family that had lot of struggles and health issues. As a result, he lost both his parents at the age of 7 years old to leukemia due to the negligence to their health, overworked, getting up early before dawn to labor. Can you imagine losing both your parents at 7 years old? Ben was devastated. His only living relative was his father's sister, Aunt Gwen. She was an elderly woman that was ill and could hardly take care of herself. However, she took Ben in. But she did not have the slightest idea of how to deal with an angry, defiant child. Therefore, Ben spent most of his time roaming the streets of the village. He would regularly be edgy, shouting, swearing at others, kicking any and everything in his path. His aunt was poor, but she was a proud woman. Even though she knew Ben was more than she could handle, she refused to honor the request of her late sister-in-law. Aunt Gwen sat and stared at the letter in her hands that she had read repeatedly since the passing of her brother and his wife. With tears in her eyes, she knew it was time to make the decision she had long ignored. 20 minutes later, Aunt Gwen stepped into Ben's room and sat on the edge of his bed where he lay. "Boy, I know you're not sleeping. Sit up. We need to have a talk," said Aunt Gwen. With not one word, Ben pulled himself to the head of the bed, leaned against the wall, with his arms folded to his chest and curiosity on his face. Aunt Gwen looked Ben in the eyes and continued to speak. "I am an old woman. I'm weak and tired. It has been 12 months since we have lost your parents, and you need structure I'm not able to give. Your mother was a smart woman. God bless her soul. This is a letter of her last request for you to be raised by Mrs. Jones, her best and dearest friend, until your 18th birthday, should you desire to be on your own before your 21st birthday. At this stage, I no longer have a choice in the matter. Therefore, I am asking you not to give this good woman any problem. She has been nice enough to handle your mom's affair, and she has been good to our family over the years, even though she is from high society with great respect near and far. She has never looked down on us as laborers, but received us as family. So, Ben, I know you are only 8 years old, and I have no right asking this of you." Aunt Gwen reached over, took Ben's hand into hers. With tears in her eyes, she said, "I do understand exactly what you are going through. I was only 2 years older than you are when both your father and I lost our parents. Your dad was 12 years and I was 10. With all things considered, you are handling it all much better than we did. And I am proud and hopeful for the man you have the potential to become. You may not see or understand it now, my child. What I am saying but I believe with everything inside me, you are the one that will break this curse from over our family. Just work hard, take full advantage of every opportunity while you wait on your season, said Aunt Gwen. Tears began to stream down Ben's face like a roaring river. His aunt pulled him into her arms and hugged him. She whispered, I love you, child, and you are going to be okay. Just promise yourself never to die in this old, God-forsaken village, old and poor. You have got what it takes to win, said Aunt Gwen. Ben took a pause, then looked into her eyes and said, I do promise, Auntie. I do promise, repeated Ben. Then he hugged his aunt tightly and wept in her arms. 10 years later. 10 years later, Aunt Gwen has passed and was laid to rest. It was a bright and sunny morning, and surely the month of August did not disappoint. Several weeks went by since the funeral, so Ben went down to the river, took off his clothes, and dived in. The river was a place of refuge for Ben, where he'd take his early morning swim and sometimes hide away to read. He loved books. As a result, over the years, the Joneses got him a wide range of medical books he enjoyed. Suddenly, a rush of peace filled Ben's heart. He looked at how far he has come. It was time to put his dreams into action, Ben thought to himself. The promise he made to his aunt has never left his mind. Ben dreamed to become a doctor has become his passion. So he decided to study harder and be more involved in the clinic, like Mr. and Mr. Jones have asked him to. The Joneses have been a tower of strength for Ben. Ben thought to himself, Mrs. Jones is a dear friend to my mother. For her to make such a promise to take care for someone like me, she held that promise dear to her heart and treats me as her own. Even as a young child, she was at my side, always there to wipe my tears, held my hand through those sleepless nights and many counseling sessions. She has watched me grow into a strong, intelligent young man that I am today. Even though Mr. and Mrs. Jones have no children of their own, they chose to love me, and every opportunity that they were given, they encouraged me to dream bigger. Although the Joneses were well off, some would consider to be filthy rich, they taught me to work for what I wanted, because nothing in this life was for free. And I appreciate that a whole lot, because in a hard-working man's life, there will be seasons. And in the season that the Lord had provided, he should spread his wings and make use of every opportunity, said Ben. Mr. Jones had not taught Ben anything he himself has not practiced. And those practices over the years have led him to become a successful and proud owner of many real estates in the city and also his very own clinic. He is a good man. He have oftentimes given back to the villagers his time and support. His hope is that Ben would one day take over his clinic. However, he will not impose it on Ben. Mr. Jones is hoping for it to be a mutual understanding. Even though he have always dreamt of having a son of his own, but for whatever reason, the Lord had found it fit that that wasn't in the cards for him. Mr. Jones found it joyful and peace in knowing that they had been under their roof to take care of him, to groom him, and help him to find himself in this world. 3 years later, 3 years later, Ben was pacing the halls. It will be his 21st birthday in the next 24 hours. Whenever he began to feel impatient, he could hear the voice of Mrs. Jones in his head speaking. Patience is a virtue, son. It would do you good to exercise it, she would say. And she would say, with a known grin on her face. Soon Ben realized he was standing in front of Mrs. Jones in the kitchen. Good morning, Auntie, said Ben. When will you get used to calling me Mom? Said Mrs. Jones. Ben kissed her cheeks and turned her around in a dance, then rushed straight to the freshly made pancakes waiting for him. Mrs. Jones was a very smart and wise woman. She knew there was something bothering Ben. She heard him pacing the halls in the way of the early morning, and he seemed edgy just a few minutes ago. She thought to herself, there is no way she can keep putting off talking to Ben. His parents have left something important for him, and she needs to let Ben know. However, this is something over the years Mrs. Jones have been trying and dreading his 21st birthday to give him this news. Now guys, this is where we are going to leave you for now. However, stay tuned to hear what is this that is so important that Mrs. Jones has to say to Ben. What is it that he's dreading? Why is he dreading it? And how come she was able to keep this away from Ben for so long? So stay tuned for the next video where you'll find out all the answers to these questions. And you have made it so far in the video, so remember to thumbs up, share, and also if you have not yet decided to subscribe, what are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? Alright, so thank you guys once more for being here. Love you. And remember, my favorite verse, I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me. So whatever it is you're facing today, bear in mind that you are not doing it on your own, but the Lord himself has given you the strength to do whatever it is that he has placed in your power to do. Hi guys, welcome to another video. Happy that you guys have tuned in. Thank you for all those that have subscribed. For all those who are watching but have not yet decided, stay tuned. And I'm hoping and praying that as we go along, you get to understand and know me better, and you will make that decision to subscribe, stick, and stay with us. Oh God, I've been so good. I'm so grateful. You know, first of all, let us take a minute and say, thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you, Father. Yeah, because, you know, I felt the warm reception that you guys, have been giving me, and I'm grateful, and I'm praying, and I'm trusting that the Lord will continue to inspire me to write these stories, build that community, be a voice to reckon with. Alright,
So thank you guys. I noticed that some persons, have been texting me one away and saying, good job, Michelle, keep up the good job or whatever. But I just want to encourage, and I thank you by the way, but I just want to encourage you guys that those comments that you are sending via WhatsApp and Messenger, to take some out of the video. Yeah, man, take some out of the video as you watch them because it does help the channel. Right. So of course, Mrs. Jones was in a dilemma in the last video. So today we want to find out what it is that she was in a bind about. Why is it that she find it so intimidating to relate this news to Ben? And for those who are just coming in, we are reading the book called The Promise that is originally written by one. So let's get into it and see what Mr. Ben is up to and what it is that Mrs. Jones is so intimidated by to deliver this news. Okay. Alright, so let's get into it. 15 minutes later, I'm here, said Ben, with his mouth filled with pancake. Son, really? You could have waited until you have finished eating, said Mrs. Jones. Is there something on your mind, son? Ben began to fidget. Auntie, you have been more than a mother to me, and I love you more than words are allowed me to express. But lately, I have been feeling it's time for me to leave the village. It's my dream to attend a university overseas, whether in England or the United States. Now, I know you and uncle have no problem to help me to do so. But like I have said, I have expressed repeatedly, I can't take your money because both have done so much already and my pride just would not allow it. I know you both are not pleased with me refusing the help, but it's sometimes, see, it's hard. It's something I must do. Also, I made a promise years ago to myself not to die here in this village, said Ben. Shh, whispered Mrs. Jones. She placed a finger on Ben's lips. Now, son, it's my time to speak. Try as you may. Be proud or not, there is no way you are going to leave here for university empty-handed. 14 years ago, before your parents died, your dying wish was for me to take care of you. And on your 21st birthday, to hand over the keys to this box. I know tomorrow you'll be 21. However, does a day really make any difference? Said Mrs. Jones and smiled. She handed Ben the box and wished him happy birthday on the behalf of his late parents. Ben pulled open the box. He took out the content and his eyes widened. Nothing could have prepared him for what he had found inside. Ben was dumbfounded. He was flabbergasted by the gift his parents had ensured was left for him. He finally looked over to Mrs. Jones and tears began to run down his face. But Ben tried to speak and words failed him. She reached over and hugged him. It's your season, son. Reach forward and embrace it, said Mrs. Jones. It took a while for her to comfort Ben. This is millions of dollars once, Ben and said repeatedly, "How, when did this happen?" Ben asked. "Your mother was a wise woman, son. It turns out that it was due to the negligence of Bob's corporation and their improper way of getting rid of the waste and poisonous chemicals have caused many of their workers to fall ill. As a result, all affected persons have filed a lawsuit against the company. It took a while, but the affected workers have won the case. Therefore, the money your parents received helped to clear up their medical debts, and the remaining surplus your mom left in my care to invest. Over the years, the investment was a success, as I promise your uncle and I, we invested the best way we saw fit. We put it aside until now for you to start a fresh life and complete your studies and accomplish your dreams. So you see, Ben, in life, if God is making you wait, then there must be a purpose and a season and the reason, said Mrs. Jones. So wait a minute, Auntie. They, they could not, did not find it fit to take better care of themselves in order to at least live to see their only child pass the worst? Now what? I should just ride off in the sunset and be happy that they have sacrificed themselves to death to leave me wealth? For what? A better future? Can't you see how morbid this situation is? Said Ben, and shook his head in wonder. Yes, God is suffering. We know that. But I am having a hard time believing all of this is His plan, Auntie. Are you saying that God orchestrated this whole thing? Said Ben. Mrs. Jones reached forward for Ben. He gave a nervous chuckle. While he drew back, looked her in the face. This is too much. It's just too much, said Ben and left the room. It wasn't night of such, whispered Mrs. Jones, as she leaned back against the cushions in the coach. Mrs. Jones knew only too well that Ben missed his parents, and the hurt he feels led to him lashing out. She has spent her adult life making her own choices. She has considered herself the luckiest of female because her family had allowed her to do so. Perhaps that was why it felt so unbearable to force Ben in a path before he was ready. Or maybe it was the way he said it. It made her feel strange, although it was not anything more than she already knew. Good morning, dear. How did it go with Ben? So sorry I wasn't around yesterday to assist, said Mr. Jones. Would you care for a cup of tea? Asked Mrs. Jones. Yes, please. Just a cup of coffee. I have an early patient this morning. I will grab something to eat when I reach the clinic, said Mr. Jones stiffly. It went that bad? Mr. Jones inquired. He was never the most talkative husband, so she appreciated him trying to have a conversation. She moved over to him, staring in his clear brown eyes for a moment. Before her gaze landed on his lips, she reached forward and kissed him. He tightened his grip, reassured her it will all work out. Said Ben as he cleared his throat and entered the room. Good to see you this morning, son. Happy birthday, by the way, said Mr. Jones. Thank you, Uncle. Aren't you running a bit late? Asked Ben. A matter of fact, I am. See you at your usual hour, son, he said, and left for the clinic. Would you care for tea or coffee, son? Asked Mrs. Jones. I would be happy to have a cup of tea, Auntie, he replied, as he cleared his throat, then tugged at his collar as if it had suddenly gotten too tight. I must apologize for my behavior last night, he said gently. I have no right losing my temper the way I did. You have taught me better. I am sorry, said Ben. Mrs. Jones looked him in the eyes as she nodded, accepting his apology. I have been thinking, what are we doing for your birthday today, by the way? Asked Mrs. Jones. Auntie, you know I'm not fussy about my birthday, so a simply homemade meal will do for me, answered Ben, as he recoiled, expecting to be hit. I need to get started on that cake, said Mrs. Jones. Ben was visibly startled by her sudden turn of conversation, so he nodded quickly and watched her. 20 minutes later, Ben was sitting under his favorite mango tree by the river, once more trapped in his thoughts. I know I should not have been so angry about the inheritance my parents left for me. In fact, that was brilliant of my mom, coming up with that plan. Nevertheless, I wish they were here. I miss them all so much. I can hardly remember what they look like. Ben thought about it for a moment, and suddenly he felt tears running down his face. Good God! Exclaimed Ben, and chuckled. This is why I can't stand my birthday. Every year it comes around and I'm a mess. In order to relieve the stress, Ben took off his clothes and dived in the river, butt naked. Ben came up for air as he heard something and saw a shadow briskly move behind the mango tree. Is there someone there? Asked Ben. No one answered. You know, I saw you, so you can at least pass me my pants, please, Ben asked. She stepped towards him and handed his pants. He grabbed it. His eyes hit hers, and she realized she had been staring at him, mesmerized by the structure of his build. Her lips parted with surprise. She wanted to look away, but she felt compelled to continue staring. She stammered while her face turned red of having been caught, but somehow she could not move. She stood there, transfixed, breathless, as a strange heat spread across them. Ben was 6 feet away at the very least, and it felt as if they were touching. Ben cleared his throat nervously. Can you please turn around? I need to get dressed. She thought she heard him whisper. Still transfixed, she saw his lips form the words, but not actually heard his voice. Then suddenly the moment was past, and she quickly turned her back, allowing him to get dressed. For a moment, Ben said nothing. And then finally, he walked over to her. I am Ben. I hope I didn't scare you earlier. Usually, no other person would have come by the river this time of morning. Hence my disposition, Ben explained. No, no, I wasn't afraid, just surprised. And frankly, you have no need to apologize to me. By the way, I am Tessa. I live a few hours down from that street out there, she said. And Ben looked into her beautiful brown eyes that held him captive. Anyone ever told you you have a beautiful smile? Said Ben. More time than I care to remember. But for some reason, it feels good hearing it from you, replied Tessa. Hearing she got that compliment a lot upset Ben. He knew it was silly of him since they had only met a minute ago. Nevertheless, he felt annoyed with himself and being able to control his feelings and what he was experiencing. Dear God, she's gorgeous, simply breathtaking. The thought brought a smile to his lips. Meanwhile, Tessa leaned forward to remove a piece of dry leaf that was tucked in his hair. Ben's heart began to race. It felt as if it was about to drop out of his chest, not able to control the intensity of it all. He leaned in and kissed her on the lips. She somehow felt the strength to pull back and slapped him in the face. She felt her eyes widen with surprise. I'm so sorry. I didn't want to slap you. It's just. And she paused. Don't apologize, he said, instinctively, smoothing his face where she felt the slap the most. I am the one who should be apologizing. And by the way, I'm so sorry, Tessa. I assure you, I have never done anything like this before in my life. I just get caught up in the moment, the rush of emotion that I felt. Don't apologize, she said. I felt it too. It's like heart. I have not felt this myself either. But nevertheless, it's not polite for you to just walk up and kiss a stranger, the first person you have just met. And guys, this is where we leave you for today in the video. And don't be afraid, like I said, to share your thoughts. And by the way, what had happened to Ben? And who is Tessa? And don't you find it strange? And all of a sudden, when is kissing this young lady that he only met a minute ago? Guys, listen. I can't wait to get into the rest of the story in the next video. So, we have reached the end of this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so as yet. And thank you all for coming in. The thought for today is if in life, you're going through something and it seems way too much for you to even comprehend, and you may be feeling that how can God do this and where is God in the situation? Just know that God will not give us more than we can manage. And also, it did said in the good book, in everything to give thanks. So, like I always said, Philippians 3 verse 30, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So you may feel as if you just can't manage, but definitely just be hopeful and trust in the Lord because He has given you that strength to persevere. welcome to another video. And for those who are coming for the first time, welcome, 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 welcome. Happy to have you. We have been reading the book that is originally written. It's called The Promise. And so far we have 3 videos that's ahead of this one. So make sure you catch up with those as well so you can get the full essence of what the story is saying. And for our returning subscribers, thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Thank you for liking. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. And thank you for letting me, feel as if what I'm doing, it do make sense. I appreciate it and I love you guys. I love you guys. And stick and stay. For those who are just tuning in, and welcome to my channel again. It's called Simply Michelle. And I am Michelle. So we are not gonna itch. We're getting right into the story because things have been getting heated around here. Alright, so let's go. I don't know exactly what to say, Tessa. I'm sorry, Ben sighed. He didn't like the idea of someone he had just met having the wrong impression of him, especially Tessa. Ben has started to realize she is quickly becoming important too. And he did not want to leave her presence, not even for a minute. And strangely enough, it seemed the feeling was mutual for Tessa. She looked at him, taking in his disheveled hair, and for some strange reason, she liked it. Why in heaven's name are you wandering around these lonely and abandoned parts of the village? Anyways, this is no place for a young woman to be wondering about, said Ben in frustration. Tessa looked up at him in surprise. Excuse me? Sorry, Daddy. I didn't realize I need your permission as to where I can and cannot go, said Tessa. He turned to her in surprise. I beg your pardon. She looked up, irritated, too stunned to say much of anything else. Ben held his tongue for a while with much effort. I am sorry, he called. Because I'm in a horrible mood. I've been behaving poorly. And really, this apology is difficult enough as it is. So please, don't ask me to explain. If it makes you feel better, any better, I just felt a sense of protection. I was just genuinely concerned for your safety, said Ben. They both locked eyes, staring at each other, and all of a sudden, she felt a sense of gratitude. Thank you for your concern, she murmured. Do you usually spy on naked men? Asked Ben. It was an accident, sir, grumbled Tessa. Are you sure? Are you sure it wasn't curiosity? Ben asked. Oh, please, don't pretend to be offended, she said. I am not pretending, said Ben. His handsome face lit up with a smile as he leaned back against the mango tree. Well, so now that we have that settled, said Ben, how come it's the first time I'm running into you? Inquired Ben. Crossing his arms. Come a little closer. I feel like I'm shouting. I assure you, I don't bite. No, thank you. I'm just fine here, replied Tessa. It's my birthday today, you know. Do you care to honor my wish? Just honor me this wish. After all, It's my birthday. I just want to get to know you, Tessa. It's fair to say you know by now that I like you. Ben said. She gave a laugh at the sound of Ben admitting he liked her. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I sense the feeling is mutual. It's obvious in everything we have done since we met, said Ben. How do you know that? She asked. I know. I see exactly how I'm feeling in your eyes, he said softly. Tessa was nervously fidgeting with the hem of her dress as she said, I can't deny there is something happening between us because I felt it from the minute I locked eyes with you. And you seem like a really good guy. While there's nothing wrong getting to know you, Ben, I'm a God-fearing woman. My faith and my relationship with God supersedes above all else. So you see, Ben, my newfound feelings for you, I cannot allow to be derailed by, said Tessa. I am here in summer break to visit my granddad. I was born here in the village, but moved away to live overseas with my parents 14 years ago. I left here around the age of 6 years old. I would regularly travel back and forth. Over the years, then my mom died and things got complicated, she said. My condolences. I understand only too well in that department, said Ben. Thank you, but it has been a while, so I'm in a better place now, said Tessa. I take it you lost someone as well, Tessa asked. Yes, both my parents and my auntie. But I'm also in a better place now, said Ben. We do seem to have lots in common, Tessa. I respect your faith and the fact that you believe in something higher than yourself. I appreciate it. That. I promise you, I do not come to take away from your life, but should you allow me in, I would want to be a part of it, yes, of course, also to add. I know there's a God, but right now I'm having difficulty believing in his words. However, I want him to be mine. I can't explain it, but it feels like I have known you all my life. And meeting you feel like a part have been added to my life that fits. You know, I don't know if you get it, but it just fits, it feels right. Ben realized he wanted her by any means, yet he wasn't certain why. Being the practical person that he was, still he wasn't surprised because for the first time in his life, he felt whole. You are not listening to me, Ben. What do you mean by you are having difficulty believing God's words? Asked Tessa. Just like it sounds, Tessa, it's basically self-explanatory. I had a tough childhood. My whole family have just up and died and left me as a child. Your mom has passed as well, leaving you as a child. All these cruel things keep happening to good people. So where is God when his word promised never to leave nor forsake us? That same word went on to say, according to your Bible, Philippians 4 verse 19, God will supply every need according to his riches in glory.
What about the poor man that works so hard but get but little pay? Tell me, Tessa, where is he? How about the single mother who have 3 or 4 jobs just to let ends meet, while their husband behind bars trying to prove their innocence just because of the color of their skin? Talk to me, Tessa. Where is God? I understand your anger, Ben, but your anger is misplaced, don't you think? God is sovereign. His sovereignty is essential to who He is. God has supreme authority and absolute power over all things. And yes, He is very much in control. Despite of our perplexity, His word says, God worketh all things according to counsel of His will, or His own, His own will. Ephesians 1:11 says that. Since you're quoting scriptures, I guess after all you do know God or something about Him. I can tell that you have been through a lot of things, the way you speak, a lot of hurt. But have you ever thought to try and talk to God? All these questions you have posed to me, how about you trying to take them to Him? I assure you, He will listen. He did say that broken and a contrite heart He will not despise. And Ben, God is not a man that He would lie. And the answer to your previous question is yes. You know what? Yes. I would like to know you better. Because all this massage you're putting up, it seems to me that you do know of God. So why are you trying so hard to be so angry at Him? So, yes, I would like to get to know you. Only not with the motive you have in mind, but as a friend. However, I have to go. I've been here for a while and, I have some stuff I have to deal with. So I have to go now. But I would like to pray for you or with you, if you don't mind, asked Tessa. You know what, Tessa? I just remembered something he said rather stupidly. In his opinion, he didn't feel like prayer would change anything. Tessa raised her brows in surprise. I am afraid I can't right now. I didn't realize how much the time has slipped away. My family is having a birthday dinner for me, in a few hours. How about you come by and do it then? You can pray for me then, said Ben. Are you inviting me on a date, Ben? Tessa asked, with a question look on her face. Because if that's what you're trying to do, that was a big fail, said Tessa. It seems useless to deny it, so Ben just nodded with a boyish grin. He was a kind, seems charitable, witty, intelligent, and passionate man. All the qualities Tessa was looking for in a husband, but he seemed to lack the main thing that she desired. And she promised herself not to compromise. I want my husband to be kind, patient, and loyal. I must be able to trust him with my heart. Yes, but most of all, he must be a man that fears God. Bottom line, that is not negotiable, said Tessa. Ben acted as if he actually liked her and enjoyed her company. And truth is, maybe he did. That was actually the brutal twist of it all. As he was making making her love him, causing a small part of her to think she had the right to dream about him or being with him. At that point, inevitably, Tessa had to remind herself of the truth of the situation, and it hurt her deeply to the core. Ben tried to move closer to her. No, Ben, she protested. I know you're not the kind of girl that give yourself to anyone, said Ben. His words caused her to laugh faintly. How would you know that? How would you know that? Asked Tessa. It explained itself. To be honest, I see it in the way you move, even the very way you express yourself. And yes, I know I am lacking faith, but I'm willing to give some more thought into all you have said, even about God. She looked at him in surprise, but Ben continued to speak. So please, come to my birthday dinner tonight. Ben reached into his pocket and handed her his card with his number. Call me if you change your mind, said Ben. Even in that moment, Ben knew he had to have her. There was certainly a strange, strong connection between them, an unusual bond that he just cannot shake. And he knew not even the mere fact that God is really her supreme person or even the meaning of her existence, that could not stop him from trying to win her. Her eyes met his. I can't, she said. You can't, or you won't, asked Ben. In spite of what you think, Tessa, I am a good man, and I don't really act or usually act this way around females or anyone for that matter. But I just can't shake this thing with you. And I just feel like something about you is right, and I just let you walk in and just walk out of my life just like that. What if I never get a chance to meet you again? I said, Ben, I think I realize that yes, you are a good man, but like I've expressed to you, Ben, sometimes being good is just not enough. For me, a man that knows God and fear God and stand in the authority of God, it just gives me confidence. It makes me just wanna give him that man my all. It's my ambition to give him my whole heart, not just a part, but everything that is within me. And yes, I cannot deny that I felt this strong connection with you, even though I've only just met you, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating like heck, because I've never felt this way about anyone before, Ben. But like I said, my faith in God is non-negotiable. And I do promise myself never to compromise. No, not that. I have to go. I have to go, she said, and quickly stepped past Ben and dashed for the streets. Tessa, wait a minute. Ben tried to continue speaking, but he couldn't make a sound. So guys, this is where we will stop for today. So stay tuned for the next video for us to see invitation to come to his birthday, will Ben be able to deal with the fact that Tessa is a woman of God and she is not up to negotiate her faith. So let us see. Let us see how it all unfolds. So, surely if you have made it to the end of the video, remember to subscribe if it's your first time and like and share and become a part of the Simply Michelle family. I love you guys and thank you all for being here again. So remember to trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not to thine own understanding. And like I always say, in all thy ways acknowledge him and he shall direct thy path.
Hi guys, welcome to another video. Welcome to my channel, Simply Michelle. And if you're here for the first time, relax, breathe, feel comfortable, and make sure you comment and share after watching the video. And the topic that we're still on is the promise. And we have 3 videos that is ahead of this video, so ensure that you catch up also from those videos so you can know what is happening. And for those who are returning, welcome. And thank you everyone that have been subscribing, commenting, and sharing. I appreciate you guys for supporting Simply Michelle. And today we're not going to stay long. We're going to get on right on into it. I took it, you went by the river today, son. What gave it away? Asked them. You didn't turn up at the clinic. And I know on a day like today, that's the only other place you would have been due to the situation, said Mr. Jones. If only you knew, Uncle. The situation had gotten worse, thought Ben. Sorry, Uncle. I know I should have informed you. I wasn't going to be in today. I just needed some time alone to think, said Ben. He sighed. A wave of guilt washed over him as the thought of how he spent his day flooded his mind. He glanced out the window, wondering how Tessa didn't call. Mr. Jones moved closer to Ben, placed a hand around his shoulder and hugged him for comfort, and said, Is there something you wish to share, son? You look unsettled, a little more unsettled than usual. No, Uncle, said Ben. You know I'm here if you need me, reassured Mr. Jones. Uncle, how did you know Auntie was the one? The woman you wanted to be with for the rest of your life? Asked Ben. Well, it's difficult to sum up in one word, but I just felt it in my heart, and I just could not get her out of my mind and out of my thoughts. So I had to do something about it. It was much simpler back then. I asked her on a date, and she said yes, and the rest was history. Ben pursed his lips in contemplation, staring down at his phone. you expecting a call? Or is there someone you are dating? Asked Mr. Jones. Not really, Uncle. It's complicated. Respond Ben. I have time. Listen, son, Mr. Jones said. Thank you, Uncle, but maybe next time. Few seconds later, Mr. Jones looked down at his glass of wine, which was quite empty. He had drunk the whole thing, yet no memory of doing so. Come, son, let's not keep your aunt waiting, said Mr. Jones. Wow, Auntie, you have outdone yourself, said Ben, with a big grin. You have prepared all my favorite foods, he said, with his jaw dropped open. Surely you expect nothing less, son, respond Mrs. Jones. 30 minutes later, Ben has come to the realization Tessa would not be coming to his birthday dinner, and his heart sunk. Leave it to his aunt. She knew exactly how to put a smile on Ben's face. She burst the corner singing, Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Ben, happy birthday to you. So she said, Dear Ben, happy birthday, with his favorite cake in her hands. It's rich yellow and brown in color, bright red cherries on top, and glittering candles all around. Make a wish, son, cried Mr. Jones. Ben closed his eyes for a second, then blew out the candles. What did you wish for, son? Mr. Jones asked. For the chance to meet Tessa again, Ben thought to himself. Surely you don't expect him to tell you his wish, dear, said Mrs. Jones. When it comes to pass, Uncle, I will surely let you know, he said. Dear, I'm waiting on a slice of the cheesecake and make it thick, said Mr. Jones. Okay, slow your roll. You know you're not to have cake, Jones, said Mrs. Jones. So why in heaven's name did you make it, woman? Mr. Jones asked. For Ben, of course, yelled Mrs. Jones. I have to go one day by something, murmured Mr. Jones. This is some really good cake, Auntie. Thank you for a memorable day, said Ben. He leaned over and kissed her. We have a special gift for you, son. However, it will not be totally ready to present to you until maybe after university. Speaking of university, meet me in the study when you are finished here. Thank you guys for the gift. And yes, Auntie, I'll be there soon. Ben thought to himself, what kind of gift will be taking that long? It must have been something really special. On the way to the study, Ben reached for his phone and realized still no call from Tessa. How foolish of me. Why didn't I ask her for her number? I should have known she wouldn't have called. It was strange to find a woman who have the potential to make him happy merely by her presence. I don't even have to see or hear her voice. Just the thought of her makes me feel excited. If this is not love, I don't know what is then. Ben looked to the sky and promised himself, I will find you, Tessa. I promise I'll make you love me, murmured Ben. Mrs. Jones heard Ben murmuring in the hallway upon entering the study. Who is Tessa? She asked Ben. He stared at her in silence, He opened his mouth to speak, but he was surprised. He couldn't make a sound, too flabbergasted to speak. Suddenly, it came home to Ben exactly what his uncle was trying to explain to him earlier, and it became clearer as he watched his aunt's expression, finally understanding the depth of his aunt and uncle's love for one another. Oh, I see. She must mean a lot to you, son, said Mrs. Jones. Ben nodded his head quickly in agreement, and she smiled and said, "Tell me about her, son." Ben looked at her in surprise. "Why are you so excited about this, Auntie?" asked Ben. "So, is her name Tessa? Where did she live? Who is her parents?" inquired Mrs. Jones. Ben Hart sang. "Are you feeling all right, son?" "What did I say? Did I say something wrong?" She gave him an odd look and continued to speak. "Surely you know I meant no insult." Right away, Ben knew he should have kept his mouth shut. "Yes, her name is Tessa. We met earlier today. We basically spend the day together. We speak about so much and yet so little. I invited her to the dinner earlier, but she didn't turn up. I think I'm to blame for her not coming. We had an unexpected connection, and I may have crossed the line," said Ben. "Did she promise to come to dinner?" asked Mrs. Jones. "Well, she didn't say she would or wouldn't come. You know, Aunt, we are so perfect for each other. But the deal was her faith. She's committed to God, and dating an unbeliever is non-negotiable. Even though she has strong feelings for me as well," said Ben. "Well, son, you have something to think about. She sounds like a wise and decent young lady. You must respect her decision," said Mrs. Jones. "Auntie, I do. However, I feel so at peace when I think about her. I found it difficult to leave her presence, even though I thought that we had just met. I can't seem to get her off and out my mind," said Ben in frustration. Mrs. Jones responded by taking Ben in her arms and hugged him. So she decided to remain right by his side, where she comforted him. It was a good feeling, a rush of emotion, remind her of the days she had just met Ben as a child. She felt needed, and she liked it. A few minutes later, "Why don't you call her, son?" she asked. "I gave her my number, but didn't think to take hers. I was so certain we would have met again. To make matters worse, we didn't share our last names, but I promise I will find her, Aunt. I just know it," reassured Ben. "Well, now that we have got that settled," said Ben pressingly. Mrs. Jones smiled. She knew Ben would not let go until he has done his best at whatever it is he set his mind to do. "Son, what university have you decided upon?" asked Mrs. Jones. She had already risen to her feet, opened the safe, before Ben could answer her question. She took in her hands the keys and box Ben had refused some time ago. "Harvard University, Auntie," said Ben to her previous question. "Well, well, well, look at you, son. How come you didn't mention you got in?" asked Mrs. Jones. "I was just distracted, Auntie. I'm sorry. And I know we would have speak soon anyway," said Ben. "Here you go. These belongs to you." And I am sure you'll be needing it with this prestigious university you have gotten into. And congratulations, by the way, my brilliant boy, said Mrs. Jones, while handing the keys and box over to Ben. I can't, Ben said, and the pain in his voice almost shattered her. Nonsense, she said. You have the power to do anything you want to do. Stop being stubborn. There is no need to make this harder on yourself than it already is, she ordered Ben. She grabbed his hands and said, "It is time for you to forgive and move on. Enough time has wasted. Your parents meant well, and they have done the best they could under the circumstances. You are being given a second chance. It would be foolish of you to refuse it," said Mrs. Jones. Finally, after several minutes of this nonsense, Ben whispered, "I'm sorry, Auntie. I do need the money, I know. And thank you for keeping the promise you made years ago. I don't say it often, but I'm grateful for you and Uncle and all you have done," said Ben. Mrs. Jones sighed loudly, and that caught Ben's attention. And for the first time, he thought to himself that she looked tired. "I wish your mom was here to play, too, you know, Ben. I missed her every day. But life goes on. We have to keep moving forward in order not to become trapped within our pain," said Mrs. Jones. "I can't imagine anything that would bring me great joy than having her here," said Ben. "How about Tessa?" asked Mrs. Jones with a mischievous smile. They both looked at each other and burst out in laughter. Soon after, Ben's heart skipped a beat because suddenly everything felt right. As the days passed into a week, Ben discovered Tessa had left for the States. It turns out she was staying 4 farms away from where Ben lived, at the Flames Ranch, the second largest ranch in the village compared to Jones. Mr. Flynn was one of Mr. Jones' dearest friends. They have known each other for years. The thought of how close Tessa was living and the fact that she was Mr. Flynn's granddaughter saddened Ben. If he had known all this information a week ago, things would have been better for him with Tessa. Or so Ben thought to himself. Ben tossed a pile of clothes onto his bed in frustration. Within an hour, Ben has his bags packed and ready to leave for university. The whole family was excited for the journey. Mr. and Mrs. Jones felt like proud parents as they gathered Ben's belongings and head out on their voyage. As they journeyed along, they asked Ben the question, "What if you run into Tessa? Well, it's news in the village that you liked her, and so far the word has spread. And as far as I know it, I know she's going to university in Boston as well, but I'm not sure if it's Harvard. However, yes, what if you run into Tessa? What will you do?" "Auntie, when I cross that bridge, I promise you, I'll have the strength," said Ben. So guys, we have come to another video. As you hear, Mr. Ben is after university to the great unknown. Tessa, will Tessa be there? Will she be in the same university as Ben? We know that she lives in the States. And as you hear Mrs. Jones said that rumor has it in the village, because no fly fast in the village. Everybody know that, oh, Ben is interested in Tessa. And the little escapade that they had is out there in the streets. So, let us wait and see how will it unfold. So, until another video, just remember to trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not to thine own understanding. And if you have reached this far to the end of the video, my lovely friends who are just coming in for the first time, remember to subscribe, like, and share, and become a part of the Simply Michelle family. Bless you. Thought for today. Slow and steady does it. The race is not for the swift, nor the battle for the strong. So whatever it is you're faced with today, and you may find yourself murmuring that you've been on it for a while and you haven't seen any result, and why is taking so long? Stop for a minute. Remember, in everything you should be giving thanks, because when the praises go up, then the blessings come down. And also, you're finding it difficult? As the scripture said, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord. If you're doing anything and you feel as if it's too much and you're not getting the results you want, call to the Lord. Yeah, like you talk to your friend and said, Lord, I'm tired of this. Come on, Jesus, hear my cry, hear my plea. But stay slow and steady. And I guarantee you, the end result will work to your while. So hang on in there, lift up your chin, and keep at it. Run your own race, and keep in your lane. And as sure as night follow day, you will cross the finish line. Hi guys, welcome back to another video. And if you're here for the first time, welcome. Happy to have you. Welcome to the Simply Michelle family. And if you're returning to watching the videos, we know that you're already welcome, and I hope you have been enjoying the story, The Promise, right? And this story that I'm reading, of course, they're all written by moi. So stay tuned and don't be afraid to share your thoughts, on the video. Remember to share the video as well with your friends and your family. And thank you for being here. So let's go right into the story. The Harvard campus was breathtaking. The freshly cut lawn, green trees gives a sense of home, Ben thought. The high, strong buildings and people pouring in from everywhere, students and their family. Everyone chattering, posing for the camera. Ben, called Mrs. Jones. Get in and ask someone to take the pic. They took pictures until Mr. Jones and Ben got weary. All right there, that's enough, cried Mr. Jones, as he and Ben wandered off. Boys, wait up, cried Mrs. Jones. Did you see that? She asked. What? Inquired Ben. The beautiful waterfront, said Mrs. Jones. It was even more breathtaking on the inside of the building. Harvard Medical School is a prestigious Ivy League medical school that's known for its excellence in education, research, and clinical care. With world-class faculty and groundbreaking research opportunities and a commitment to a diverse environment of bright, talented students. Harvard is more than a place to get an education. It's where students came to be transformed. It was a full week of activity planned for the students and family. So the Jones had property close by. As a result, they have comfortable accommodation until time to return home. Ben has no intention of staying on campus, so the Joneses' property came in handy for him as well. It was a beautiful sight. Ben and his family were suited in their burgundy Harvard t-shirts. Mr. Jones felt proud and happy to experience this whole ordeal with Ben. After all, Harvard Medical was also his alma mater. So it meant a big deal to their family. How are you enjoying being here at Harvard? Asked Mr. Jones. It felt surreal, Uncle. Truly. It's the blessing being all able to attend one of the best university in the world. Not to mention your alma mater, Ben said. Well, son, you have made me feel like one of the happiest men alive, beamed Mr. Jones. Oh, yes, teased Mrs. Jones, knowing exactly how blessed her husband felt. We must give the Almighty God the praise for all the trials He had brought us through to get here. Amen, agreed Mr. Jones. Ben turned and looked at them both. He thought to himself how blessed he was to have them in his life. Thank you, God, for coming through for me. You sure did this time around, murmured Ben. Everyone turned to look at Ben in surprise. What? I have to be fair. God has showed up, explained Ben. I'm glad you realize, son, said Mrs. Jones, and pat Ben on the back in approval. 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later, Ben has finally settled in his different courses and study groups. He had already made a few friends, Michael and Sam. They would frequently invite Ben to hang out and have a drink. However, he always ended up refusing, being a non-drinker with zero interest in alcohol. A sharp knock at the door broke Ben out of his thoughts, and he looked up in surprise, wondering, who would this be at this time of the evening? Ben walked reluctantly to open the door. What took you so long? If I didn't know better, I would have thought you didn't want to let us in, exclaimed Michael. Well, it's no secret. I don't like it when others show up to my house unannounced, explained Ben. It's the only way we can get you to come out with us, said Sam. Don't you have any root beer? Or any beer or alcohol? This fridge is filled with every single thing except beers, murmured Michael, with his head pushed into Ben's refrigerator. Soon after, he turned with 2 energy drinks and handed one to Sam. Where do you keep your bread? I need to make a quick sandwich, cried Michael. Seriously, dude, don't you eat at your place? Asked Ben. Never mind, I found it, shouted Michael. A few minutes later, we're not leaving here without you, Ben, said Michael, and crossed his arms. I am tired of your nagging, said Ben, with a loud sigh and grumble. I am just fine where I am. He continued to speak. He continued to protest. Come on already, dude. We need to get going, said Michael. Where do you keep your chips? Asked Michael. You know what? I am coming before you eat me out of house and land, yelled Ben. 15 minutes later, the last place Ben wanted to be was around a bunch of noisy fat boys after what felt like an hour, but it turns out to be only 5 minutes. Michael returned with a cup of ginger ale, or so Ben thought. After a few cups, he had gotten more sociable, laughing and dancing like his life depended upon every move. Sam and Michael felt pleased to see Ben finally letting down his hair and having fun. At least until they both noticed something was not right with Ben's face. They both rushed to Ben's side. Dude, your face is swollen. It's like the size of a watermelon. And you are breaking out in hives. Are you allergic to something? Inquired Michael. Ben laughed. Ha ha ha. No wonder I'm itching. The only thing I'm allergic to is alcohol, said Ben with a funny grin on his face. Then continued to speak. Now you know why I don't drink, he said and collapsed in Michael's arms. Crap! What have I done? Exclaimed Michael. What? Do you always have to get carried away with your stunts? Asked Sam. Michael looked around to pretend Sam was not speaking to him. Perfect example of the point I'm trying to make. You played too much, Michael. What if something more serious had happened to Ben? Do you understand? He could have lost his life, said Sam. Oh, stop being so dramatic, Sam. And furthermore, I didn't know a little alcohol could do that to him. How could I have known he was allergic when he didn't bother to tell us? Michael tried to defend himself. So now you're blaming him for almost taking his life? How can you be so darn selfish, Michael? Shouted Sam. I am sorry, okay? I know I am wrong, said Michael. Save your stupid apology for Ben and pray to God he woke up and he's safe, said Sam. I just wanted, I was just trying to help him to relax and have some fun. Had I have known he's not able to smell a beer without getting sick, I would not have put him through such an ordeal, murmured Michael in remorse. Well, dude, that is why you should grow up and respect people's space and get used to hearing no, scolded Sam. Will you two idiots stop making noise at my head? Murmured Ben, and sat up in the bed. Dude, you scare us to heck, said Michael and hugged him. What am I doing in the emergency room? Asked Ben. Ask that loony beside you, replied Sam. Don't speak, just rest and relax. I will fill you in later, murmured Michael, dreading exactly what Ben would do to him after hearing what he had done. Michael, don't let me get up from this bed, spoke Ben. Okay. What happened was I put a small amount of alcohol in your drink for you to loosen up, just a touch, just a bit, not knowing you were allergic to the darn thing. A simple misunderstanding. And I'm truly sorry. Come on, dude, I'm sorry. I promise never to get ahead of myself again. Plead Michael. You deceive and poison me? Asked Ben, with a look of terror on his face. Well, when you put it that way, it sounds ugly. Wait, don't tell me you called my home and told my family? Inquired Ben, while dreading the answer. Oh no, we didn't. We were not sure if we should, at the time. So we haven't, said Sam. Good job, Sam. Thank you. At least one of you have your head on your body. Good morning, gentlemen. Can you kindly please leave the room so I can talk with Mr. Allen? No problem, sir, replied Sam and Michael as they gently tiptoed out of the room. So guys, we will be stopping here. And what next? What is to come next? Now that Ben is in university and Letting Down is here, things are happening. So, definitely if you have reached the end of this video, of course, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe if you have not done so as yet. And as I always said at the end of my video, scripture Philippians 4 verse 13, I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me. So, be blessed. Hi guys, welcome to another video. Yes, and we are still on the story, The Promise. And for those who are coming in for the first time, welcome. And I hope that you will watch the video in entirety, share your opinion on the story, and there are a few videos that are ahead of this one. So after watching this one, you can do due diligence. Go to see those and leave your comments. And my returning subscribers, bless each and every one of you. I'm happy that you're turning up for me and supporting the channel. Alright, so for this video, let us not itch. Oh, and for those who are coming for the first time, these stories that I'll be reading, yes, it is written by moi, in case you're wondering. And I hope you do enjoy the stories, and I hope you will find a character in the story that you will find interesting, and you would like to support or talk about, he or she. Alright, so let's get into it. So, Mr. Allen, I take it you're not aware you are allergic to alcohol? He asked. Yes, doctor, I'm aware of it. It was a stupid misunderstanding, exclaimed Ben. And it will not happen again. Be more careful with your health. It could have been worse had you not reached here the time you did, said the doctor. I do not want to see you back here under these circumstances, he repeated. Thank you, most definitely, doctor, answered Ben. I also advise that you stay clear from any foods or pastries that contain any form of alcohol. Also, you are to stay away from grapes, hops, barleys, grain, wheat, and yeast. Alcohol allergies are rare but can have serious medical consequences, including death. Mr. Allen, I am going to be frank with you. I am, being a student doctor, I am disappointed in your negligence to your health. I know you don't know. However, I know your uncle, Byron Jones. We have been best of friends for over 30 years.
Thank you guys. This is where we say bye for now. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye bye.